Hi, everyone. Oh, I'm trying to figure this out. There we go. What is going on here? Okay, that must be better for some odd reason. That stupid little things, right? All right, so hope everybody's doing good. Little glitches, right? When you click the wrong button and you're on the internet and trying to do things and your fingers are twitchy because I have very shaky fingers. So you go press the button, also you go tick tick tick. It's going 3 times. I'm going. That's what happened there. So that's my excuse, and I'm sticking with it. So welcome to Whispering Souls. Okay, so tonight is a Whispering Souls event. Whispering Souls event. Wow. It's a past loved one event. So we're only going to be doing past loved ones today, and I know I keep promising I'm going to do another one eventually. But it's just time and place and things to do. Anyway, yeah. So I have a couple of events coming up. We have one actually two of them are in Carlton Place. One in doing reads at Amnestis, and then in May, and then in June 5th we will be doing reads at the coffee house that's there. I'll come up with a name, or my wife will put it up there on the screen. Oh, thinking of remembering of people, it's another thing. I can't even believe it's the 23rd today. Oh my god, time's going so fast. Okay, so we might as well get going. Yeah, let's see if we can connect to him. So for those of you that are new to this, because these are such short read, I just ask you to give me like the relationship to you. I don't need a name or anything. I don't use names. I find names tend to confuse the issues. Okay. Let's see if Bob will come in, because I have grandmother standing there. Kind of looking over her shoulder, so I'm just assuming somebody's coming. So now she rolls her eyes. Anyway, I guess he's doing something that it's kind of like making her impatient. Okay, so I have a man that just stepped in. And he's got a big grin on his face, and he's kind of, and saying he's enjoying his time over there, and he's, it's like he's really relaxed. He said, he says there was so much stress before he passed that it's all gone, and now we can kind of relax and see things in a completely different way. So he says, when we see things, it's not actually seeing like we see, or like we see. It's more of a knowledge coming in type of thing. So we see everything. Tell the rest of the family that he's good, he's happy, and he's going to come in, and he's been giving me little messages every once in a while to people that he's there. Some people will ignore it, some people won't, but he is going to be moving into people's houses. And just smiling, saying, I'm going to play jokes, I'm going to move things around, I'm just going to drive people crazy. And it's his way of saying that he's okay. Especially, when it comes to skeptics, because he said, skeptics really don't believe a lot. He says, I didn't believe a lot. But when you come over to this side and you see how everything works, he says, yes, skeptics should take a little bit more time to see into things. And it says he can breathe well because he doesn't have any lungs. He says everything we had, he says, in this life that didn't work is now working. Yeah, so he says you've seen him in his dreams, in your dreams. And that's just his way of letting people know that he's okay. Says you give him another month. He says he'll be in there and the house is harassing you. Just like he used to do. So, but this time he says it's not in a negative way. This time it's going to be in a very positive way. So grieve me in positivity, and he says you'll be able to communicate with a lot more. Anyway, so that's all I have for you. Put down your name. I hope that helps. Sorry for your loss. Why am I writing like that? Anyway. Okay. Hi, Philly girl. Let's move down here. Okay. Okay. April Muffet. Okay, so first thing I hear is from a lady who kind of leans forward and kind of like stares at me and says, tell her that she is not ready for her. She says, I don't want her. She's got lots of time left. So don't worry about it. No, she says that your mother says that there's going to be a lot of good things happening for you. So, don't worry so much about her. She's in good hands. So it's also kind of feeling for her too, that's saying that there's going to be time for you to have some family celebrations coming up soon. The end of negativity. But she says in the end, she says, you don't worry so much about other people. He says, you need to focus on yourself. You need to move forward. You need to do the things you need to do. And she says, when you sit down, you're all stressed out, she'll come over and she'll hold your hands. Because I just see her like holding both of your hands, just kind of like sitting in front of you. And she says, it's all okay. She also says, family members are coming around her anyways to help her deal with what's happening. So no, don't worry so much about her. For some reason, your dad says, where's my cookies? It's a reference I'm assuming that you can understand. Anyway, so they're both saying that life is good. Oh, by the way, they said that they're working on, there's a new child coming into the family, and there's somebody that's around you that hasn't had a relationship in a while, and they're going to be creating a relationship for them. And so the family's going to have a lot of joy over the next 6 months. It's enough to make the family a lot happier than they are now. Anyway, that's all your mother had to say. I hope that helps you in some way. Muffet, not muffin. Guess I have muffins on the mind. Sorry about that. April Muffet. I'm just waiting for my spirit guide to pick somebody. Okay, so Ashley Denise. Mm-hmm. Sorry, this thing keeps beeping at me. Okay. Like I said, I always get the grandmothers first. So yeah. So here's your brother-in-law who just kind of walked in and just again had this kind of smile on his face, kind of like I'm not I'm up to no good kind of smile. He says people were surprised that he passed, and so was he. It's one of those things he says that, where you're just kind of sitting there and you see the rest of your life and whatnot, you get it moving, then all of a sudden it ends. And he just says that, he wants everybody to know he still loves them very much. I don't know why he's saying, give me a very sad feeling of something, or perhaps he did wrong. But he wants everybody to know that it's nobody's fault. There was no reason for it to happen. So nobody has to think of, I could have saved him, or I could have, been there. He says that, that's just not something that could have happened. But he really wants everybody to know that he has said everybody goodbye. He has heard everybody said goodbye. So he visited everybody, including the kids, and whispered to them that he was leaving. So yeah, he says, he has contentment, and he's wishing contentment on people. But he also says, when it comes to you guys, he says, look forward to, he wants you to kind of look at saving your money, because there are events coming up that you guys are going to enjoy. He shows me traveling. So it's kind of a thought of perhaps you guys may travel in the next couple of years, so save your money. But he also wants to thank you for being part of his life as well. So sometimes people in your life, sometimes you don't take for granted until something happens. And so he's very grateful for having you and people in his life. So says you take care, and I don't know what he said, so I can't repeat it. So anyway, take care, he says. He said something that was just not appropriate to people in a group setting. Okay. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm waiting for again Bernard to throw a banana at somebody. Oh, really, Gayla? Wow, that must be terrifying. Yeah, so Tanya Thomas. Okay, so the first thing I'm kind of hearing from her is kind of the feeling I get from her is like, it's like stop playing into people's hands. So it could she might be referring to like, perhaps you're not standing up for yourself, or people in the family are causing issues and whatnot. Because I just feel it's a family issue. She says, stay firm and stay where you are, and you'll succeed. She's also saying that some new, success with money's coming up, but don't overspend. Says people have a tendency to overspend, but just don't do that. As well as she's mentioning, I'm not sure who in the family, but she's holding a baby, saying that this one's coming, and it replaces one that was lost. She says now it's summer though. Go outside, sit outside, enjoy life, breathe in nature. She says just don't sit near a guy who farts a lot. And he says the nature, the smell of nature won't be as great. Anyway, she says if you want to talk to me, then go by the river, and then you'll find her standing in the water, because that's where she likes to be. She says there's some repairs need to be done, I guess to the house or to her house, but she says, save the money to do that or sell the house. Anyway, so that's all I have for you, Tanya Thomas. I hope that helped in some way. Okay, so. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, it's awesome, Gayla. They often find ways to come back to let people know that they are around. So don't be surprised at that one. Okay, so Rena McLaughlin. Oh yeah. For anybody who's wondering, when I refer to my spirit guide throwing a banana, it's just kind of a joke between me and him. When we do spirit work or have a bunch of people I do readings for. The joke was that when I do readings, that he would throw a banana at him, and I would visually see the banana flying across the room. So he's just one of those that. Being an 11th century monk, I'm surprised that he knows what a banana is. Anyway. So, looking at the cards, because I'm still waiting for them to come in, there's the loss of a friend or whatnot sitting here, which is obviously you're grieving on that side. So I kind of get a feeling that of the male that's come in, I'm not getting the full picture of him. It's kind of a feeling. So I'm not quite sure. He might be a spirit I can't quite read. So the message I'm getting from this person, because like I said, it's a feeling. I'm not able to see him. So he wants people to know that he didn't cross over with pain. Because spirits leave their bodies about 5 minutes before the body actually dies. So he was standing around looking at people and hearing what people were saying, and feeling sad that he had caused this much pain in people's lives at his death. And the message he likes to say to people is that think of the positives of him. Think of the positive of what's coming to life, so your grieving isn't as bad. Because he's taking the time now to give as much positivity to people in the family to make sure that they're grieving in more of a positive way than a negative way. So it's just what he's doing is he's walking around and he's touching everybody and just giving them so much love that kind of helps remove that moment of negativity. He also says, make sure you swat his son every once in a while. But there's another thing he also says that I always tell people, when you're sitting there and you feel this little prickly feeling in your hands, that's usually when some spirit's holding your hands and passing you energy and giving you lots of love and so on and so forth. He wants to go out, celebrate life, celebrate the family, just go out and enjoy. He knows there's new ones coming, new people coming. Families always have people coming in and out. But he says, enjoy life. He says, stop, go start looking at, at what your future is and where you're headed. And so he's happy. Just tell people he's at peace. He's happy. Anyway, that's all I hear from him. Hope that helped. Like I said, I couldn't hear from him a lot. So. So who else we have here? Hey, Morgan Brown. Um, so a quick way I explain the way spirits communicate on the other side is that uh, they communicate through a spiritual hook. And I can almost refer to as a spiritual internet system. Um, so that even when he couldn't hear in this life, he was still hearing things in the background. Sample as you sitting there thinking about having a pizza, then your partner looks at you and says, "How about a pizza?" That information's been passed between the two of you before he says it, and that's what's happening with him. He knows everything. He hears everything. Um, you know, so it's like he just says, you can't get away from him now. There's nothing you can hide away from him. Um, he knows your thoughts. He hears them. So whatever you think, he knows. Doesn't judge. He just hears them, and he helps as much as possible what he hears. And so sometimes, he hears things from people that people don't know or have not known through his life that he was able to hear. But now he's in the spirit world. He just passes off this worries and thoughts and whatnot. He passes them off to the angels, and he's becoming a lot more of a male clerk. He just laughed. So it's almost like, when people ask for something, then he looks at it and he'll pass it off to who he feels is the appropriate person. He also wants you to know that he says over the next year, things always go up and down over years and so forth. And he says, this one's going to be kind of the same, where you're going to have good and you're going to have bad months and whatnot. So be true to nature, and nature will be true to you. So stop spending money on stupid things. Anyway, there's an old joke he wanted me to say, but I'm not going to say it because it can freak some people out. Okay, so it's from Morgan Brown. Okay. Okay, so Paula O'Connell. Okay. So the first thing, I got an image of a gentleman that's sitting with you and kind of like having a drink and a nice dinner. He's kind of saying, when it comes time to celebrate things. There's certain things that should be celebrated and things that should be celebrated in a different way. So just go out with a couple of friends or whatnot and go out and enjoy a meal with people and celebrate. Um, this is not only celebrate um, your growth in life, but also celebrate that um, your growth in your understanding of his death. If that makes sense. So, yeah, he says just go out with family or whatnot. Just go have a dinner somewhere. Acknowledge his death, but do it in a positive way. And wherever you go, and if you have this meal, he's going to sit there and he's going to be with you guys. And he's going to celebrate with you guys. He says he's also been talking to you in your dreams. So you maybe see him in the dreams or whatnot. He's certainly giving you a lot of information moving forward with stuff. I'm not sure why I'm seeing, but I'm seeing boxes being made where you live. So I don't know if you're moving stuff away that he had or you're planning on moving. But he says, you've grown a lot with this grieving, and he says he's happy that you've moved forward in that direction. He also says he sees that you haven't moved away from sleeping in the bed in the middle of the bed either. Because even when he sleeps in there, you're still pushing him off the bed. So yeah, he says when you go to sleep at night, he'll be in the bed with you. So have comfort to wherever you are and whatever you're doing, that he will be there. He won't let go of you. Anyway, he just says, see you later. He says nothing's ever goodbye. It's just a see you later. Somebody to clean the curtains. I don't know who that was. It's with all the people that have come in. Okay. So, Amy Cameron. All right. So I'm not sure who you're looking for. I always ask people to be kind of a bit more specific, but I see a grandmother that's there. She's also holding a young child. An older lady, older than you, standing beside you. So I don't know if your mother's gone or this is another, like an aunt or something. Anyway, so the message I'm getting from your grandmother is that you're being well taken care of where you live. So there's like 8 spirits where you live. So they're all family members that are hanging around. I see another lady walking around with a coffee and just kind of complaining that the coffee's always cold. And the other one she's mentioning is kind of, I guess it's a daughter you never had. That kid's running around the place as well. She does say that, she's looking at you and she says your aura is so strong right now. So there's so much energy coming of it that you'll have a whole bunch of people attracted to you. But she also says sometimes your aura shrinks because when your confidence falls, your aura falls. So she says you have to keep that aura up, especially when it comes to relationships and whatnot. She says you got to keep that aura up. But she says, you are going to succeed in life. You are going to have fun in life. I don't know if you're married or not because I see a guy standing beside you, but it's kind of like the pure love type of thing. And she points at that and just smiles and says, that's what she's referring to. Anyway, so she says she's taking care of your kid, and your kid's taking care of you, and there's all kinds of other family members in your house. So she says, be aware you're always loved. Anyway, that's all she has to say to you. Okay. I've read so many people with all A's tonight. Okay, Summer D. I knew a Summer a long time ago when I was in training and, of course, in England. Okay. So I have an older lady standing there, and I'm assuming you mentioned your mother or whatnot. So it's kind of like the grandmother's first thing she says is that, as much as you can want to do or whatever you want to do with your daughter, just kind of, you have to let it flow. You have to let your daughter learn her own path. And sometimes people are too stupid to stop doing stuff, and then they need help at the end. But as much as you can help her, there's also a sense that she may not want to be helped. And I don't know why if this is making sense here, because I'm hearing all kinds of things. Anyway, so your mother looks at you and said, says, don't listen to her. She says, they're so confusing. It says, you do what you need to help her, but don't go too far to hurt yourself. There's only so much you can do to help people. So if she needs help to get somewhere, or if she needs help to do something or whatnot, accept what she asks for, but don't kind of keep asking, if that makes sense. So we have the stress card here as well, which came up, but it also says from the stress card after that, you have the contentment card. So whatever's kind of going on with her, there's a contentment card that's there, which basically says, hey, you know what? It's going to go for the good. Your mother says you should clean the place better. Spirits always talk about that. And she's just smiling anyways. But she also wants you to know that that your mother is back to dancing. So I see her dancing, having a very good time. It's just like it's almost like she's dancing in a room full of people, or at a wedding or something. So, and they usually do that. Probably means that there's a marriage coming up sometime, or increase in relationship, or so it's like a family celebration on the spiritual world, saying spiritually that you're going to be loved. Anyway, that's all I have. That's a very chaotic one. If you guys are any interested in a full read of that, send us an email and be more than happy to set you up. 5-minute reads, it's just kind of a bit of a touch, but full read, they can get spirits can get more involved, or say things deeper, because it's not a public thing. So I'm doing a public thing here. So spirits don't like to say things that are personal type of thing. Anyway, so I hope that helped. That's why I don't give out a lot of stuff. Interesting name. Irish Angel. Yeah. I'm assuming by that name that you're from Ireland, or have an Irish background. Oh yeah. And trust me, I won't try any kind of Irish accent, because I'm terrible at. I can't even do my own accent. Anyway, so the first thing I'm getting from there's two ladies there. One from again, grandmother feeling older lady. One feels probably your mom. So the first thing I'm kind of hearing from your mom, assuming it's your mom. She says she's so excited for you. I can feel the excitement coming from her. It's almost like, she says so many things are moving forward for you in the next little while, and it's just like you won't even believe how things are going to be moving for you. She's showing you dancing with somebody, as in pure love. Says that she's showing you work-wise, you moving forward. And she says all this is going to kind of work forward for you. The only thing I'm kind of seeing, and she's mentioning too, is that you got to stop spending money. So put your money away. You're going to need it. You're going to want to take trips and whatnot. I just saw something there. What the hell was that? Anyway. But again, she's so excited for you. It's almost like she can't stop jiggling around. She also says, she wants you to stop being so stubborn when people are suggesting things to you. She says that she knows that you got it from her, yada, yada, yada. She says, but sit back for a bit and start listening to people and kind of saying, okay, I'll listen to it. So don't shut your mind off to ideas that you don't agree with. Because sometimes, when we don't agree with something, is the knowledge that we absolutely need to move forward. So it says, listen to people, don't judge them right away. Put in your mind, go walk around and say, perhaps. Yeah. So she's basically saying, if you're worried about money coming up forward, he says that you're going to have the money, just don't spend it. So some decisions have come up for you. She is in the house moving things on you. She says there are certain things in places she doesn't like where they are. So she's going to move them on you. So if you walk in a room and see something in the wrong place, you'll probably blame somebody else. But I told you that. You probably realize it's your mother. Your grandmother likes to make your pictures crooked, by the way. Anyway, that's all they have to say. Yeah. Thanks, Irish Angel, for coming. Why you did that then? Okay. Ashley Govender. Okay. I don't know how old your daughter was when she passed, but I'm getting the feeling that's like, the spirits like to go back to the time when they were really happy in life. And I'm kind of seeing her kind of around 8, 9 years old. It doesn't matter what age they were when they did pass, but it's just, kind of time, I guess, maybe that they were the happiest. So again, just somebody I said, maybe she's showing me that age because the activity she's doing. I see her dancing in the middle of a living room and kind of running around and doing things, chasing other kids. But the one thing she wants you to know is that because she's of you, she will never leave you. So she'll always be there wherever you are. She'll be there looking at you and wondering. So says every once in a while she says she'll stare at you and you feel like you're being watched. And you are. She's watching you. She also likes to jump in the bed when you're trying to go to sleep. So it's usually a feeling we have is, kind of a feeling that the bed's moved or is moving. But all in all, she wants you to know that she's very happy where she is. She's no remorse. She says, have no guilt in your part. Where she is, she's so happy. She's with family on the other side, and they're just having a ball. But she also says that she just wants you to go out and have a ball too. Go out, enjoy nature. Go out and do this. She says, go to a park and sit there and listen. But she says, I guess dancing's a big thing tonight. But she says, you know what? Just dance with her. The moment you start dancing in the kitchen, she'll be there dancing with you. And then you'll feel her more. It says it's time to stop bad habits. But anyway, so when it is time for you to cross, she'll be there waiting for you. Yeah. Take care. Bye. Anyway. Hi, Karen. Okay. Okay, everyone, I'm going to call that for the night. Thank you all for coming. I know I forgot to turn the lights on. So anyway, thanks for you all for coming out, and hopefully we'll see you next time. So take care, everyone.